In Chinatown, Private Eye Water clocks a tale. He picks up the pace, drops a package in a mailbox, and steps into the street, only to get flattened by a van. He is left bleeding on the asphalt while the van vanishes. In Hawaii, Navy Commander James is in a pool, drilling his team on breath holding. No one matches his stamina, so he surfaces to chew them out. A soldier interrupts, urgent call from the police. Soon after, James stands in the morgue, staring at his father's body. He's told Walter was killed by a concealed drone, but James's face stays stone. At home, James cooks dinner. When his wife Layla asks about his day, he recaps the training and mentions offhand that Walter died, using his first name, not Dad. Layla notes his brother should know. James reminds her they haven't spoken in years and his brother screens his calls. In Oklahoma, half-brother Johnny finds girlfriend Valentina packing. It's her birthday, he forgot. That's the last straw. She's tired of his perpetual clowning and lack of seriousness. Johnny swears he'll change. She kisses him, slaps him, and walks out anyway. Depressed, Johnny spends hours drinking. Layla calls with news of Walter's death and funeral details for tomorrow. Johnny, uninterested, heads to the bathroom while griping about his cop work. Suddenly 2 men are behind him, knife at his throat. He accidentally pees on their shoes when he turns. They flash Yakuza ink and demand a package Walter sent. Johnny insists he hasn't seen Walter since childhood. He fakes begging, then attacks, trashing his bathroom with the brawlers. A third man opens fire. Johnny uses furniture as weapons and even pauses for a drink mid-fight. He knocks out 2. The last guy smashes Johnny's mother's shrine, so Johnny shreds his arm with a cheese grater, then batters his head on a table, knocking out teeth. On that table, he spots Valentina's note, "Thanks for nothing." The mobsters rally. One nearly chokes Johnny out, but Johnny drops him onto broken glass, finishing him. He picks up a photo of his mom and his younger self. Walter is hidden behind them. Johnny curses his father. At the funeral the next day, James clocks both Yakuza and Syndicate crews in attendance. Johnny's arrival shocks him. They trade insults immediately, prompting the priest to shush them. After the service, Walter's ashes are sent out on a boat. Later, Johnny discovers James lives in their childhood home. The backstory spills. Walter cheated on James's mom and fathered Johnny with his mistress. James's mother still let Johnny in, but James resented him for wrecking the family. At lunch, Governor Peter joins them. Johnny's half-sister Henoni works for him. Johnny declares he didn't come for James, he came to find Walter's killer. James clings to the hit-and-run story until Johnny describes last night's attack. They argue. James accuses Johnny of dragging chaos everywhere. When Johnny fires back that James also bailed when his mother was murdered, James freezes and asks to talk privately. On the beach, the argument reignites. James refuses to see Walter's death as anything but an accident. Johnny flips him off and leaves. At a bar, Johnny runs into old pal Alokai, a syndicate member. Alokai's boss, Mr. K, wants a word. Johnny feels woozy, realizing Alokai drugged his drink, and blacks out. He wakes in a room with Mr. K, who notes Johnny has hurt many of his men. Johnny reminds him the syndicate killed his mother. Mr. K orders Johnny off the island. Johnny refuses. Mr. K slams him onto a table and carves his initial into Johnny's neck, giving him 7 days to live or die. Meanwhile, James visits Detective Renard for Walter's fire. Renard says it's useless, the hit happened where no one talks, and the only camera was broken. The official line is a hidden drone, no one's investigating. James collects Walter's effects, a knife and a wallet holding a ticket with a strange word list. Simultaneously, Johnny breaks into Walter's apartment. He finds a gun and pockets it. Someone else enters. He hides. A man named Ika rifles through papers. Johnny ambushes him, but Ika flings a plate and bolts, leaping across rooftops and cars. He hits the street and runs straight into Johnny's fist. Johnny drags Ika to a bar. Ika explains he worked for Walter, who was like a father to him. Walter's last gig was with a catering company. Ika posed as a waiter but never learned why. Johnny declares Ika, now dubbed Piker, works for him, and roughly resets Piker's broken nose. James returns to the crash site, studying tire marks. He spots a camera on an adult shop. Inside, he offers cash for the footage. When the owner balks, James rips out the clerk's piercings until he complies. Later, Johnny and Piker find a surfboard in Walter's place. Piker says Walter didn't surf. Johnny notices a fin is off. Pulling it reveals hidden blueprints. He calls Hanoni, who notes the blueprints bear Governor Peter's government seal. She'll check the database. Piker opens the door to leave and gets smashed by it. James bursts in, gun drawn. Johnny pulls his weapon. Realizing they are both on the case, they holster guns and review the security footage James got. The van has no plates. The driver never swerves. Johnny calls it deliberate. James demands more proof. Johnny sends Piker to dig into the catering company. Driving off, the brothers argue and miss an oncoming vehicle around a corner. They crash. A big car pins theirs, shoving it down the street and causing pileups. Gunfire erupts. Johnny floors it, slamming into restaurant tables. The cars are locked together. The enemy's windows are bulletproof, but James manages to headshot one shooter. Out of ammo, he climbs out and leaps onto the enemy vehicle. Johnny shoots their engine. The car explodes and flips. James hits the pavement hard. At the station, Renard chews them out for the chaos. He reveals Johnny was suspended from his cop job 2 months ago for excessive force. James hands over the flash drive, but Renard waves it off and warns them to behave. Hanoni shows the brothers what she found, blueprints for a property on the east side, commissioned by a developer named Marcus. James spots a Sacred Casino Princess seal on the back, odd since gambling is illegal on the island. They plan to crash Marcus's annual fundraiser tomorrow. The next morning, James asks why Johnny was suspended. Johnny admits he shot a dealer selling to kids. James seems okay with it. They scout the casino's proposed site. It's not a construction zone but an ancient Hawaiian village. Piker calls. Cops pull the blue van from the water, along with a dead government accountant. Renard has a list of registered blue vans but won't share. Johnny notes the only Japanese name on the glimpsed list, Hayoshi Imports. He tags Piker with researching it. At the fundraiser, Piker sneaks the brothers in as waiters. He confirms Hayoshi Imports is a Yakuza front. James serves a man named Nakamura, who casually does happy powder off a plate. James lifts Nakamura's credit card. It says Hayoshi Imports. James returns it, feigning finding it, and asks if they lost a blue van. Nakamura issues a veiled threat and walks. Johnny introduces himself to Monica, who recognizes his surname. She reveals she's Marcus's wife, wants a divorce, and hired Water to get leverage for her safety. She invites him to her penthouse tomorrow for details. Guards drag the brothers to Marcus. Marcus claims he hired Water to check if Monica was cheating, but she wasn't, and denies killing him. Johnny idly plays with a grenade he finds on Marcus's desk while James notices a napkin concealing 2 severed fingers. Marcus hides the napkin and ejects them. The next day, Johnny arrives at the penthouse to find police, ambulances, and Monica's body splattered on a car roof. The story is she fell. Enraged, Johnny storms Marcus's mansion, plowing through guards until he's tossed unconscious. Marcus denies killing Monica and has the cops called. In jail, Governor Peter secures Johnny's release, convincing Marcus to drop charges. He urges Johnny to let the cops work and find support in James. Outside, James scolds him, saying violence won't resurrect his mother. Johnny snaps, headbutts James, and they brawl across police cars and into the mud. James wins, pummeling Johnny's face. Johnny asks why James abandoned him when he needed him most. James confesses he sent him away to protect him from the syndicate. Johnny admits he's haunted by his mother's corpse and that James was all he had. James finally apologizes. At home, Johnny gets a call from Valentina. She found Walter's package at his place. Inside is a flash drive. She'll bring it to Hawaii. At the airport, she rebuffs Johnny's hug by hurling her suitcase at him. In the car, Piker encounters a banking firewall on the drive. Valentina IDs it as a cold wallet, digitally encrypted, with the flash drive as the key. The password needs 12 random words. James produces the ticket with the word list from Walter's wallet. A helicopter opens fire. James swerves to dodge bullets and crashing vehicles. Valentina takes the wheel, weaving through chaos like a pro. The chopper peels off, 2 gunmen on a bike attack. Valentina reverses, causing the bike to crash into them. One biker crawls onto the roof with blades, the other lands on the hood. James fights the one inside while Johnny grapples with the hood guy. Valentina scrapes the car against the fence, shredding one attacker and ripping off his arm. James forces the other man's head against the pavement before dumping the body. The helicopter returns. The brothers fire back. James's shot hits the gunman, whose body jostles the pilot. The chopper spirals and explodes just as Valentina rockets into a tunnel. Safe, Piker cracks the drive, $12 million a year funneled to Governor Peter. Marcus has been paying Peter to legalize gambling for his casino, with the Yakuza as protection. Walter stumbled onto the conspiracy investigating Monica's marriage. The dead accountant likely fed Walter the info, Peter is cleaning house. Hanoni shows Peter the blueprints, playing dumb. Peter feigns ignorance and promises a review. At home, James finds his kids hiding in the bathroom, Layla's phone on the floor. Layla and Hanoni have been kidnapped. A video from Marcus shows the women tied up in his basement. He demands the flash drive in exchange for their lives. James opens his armory, the brothers load up. That evening, they silently eliminate the perimeter guards. Johnny leaves a smile note on Marcus's car before picking off more guards. James snipes from afar. The power cuts. Johnny stabs a basement guard checking the cables, then uses his radio to taunt Marcus, "See you soon." Marcus sends Nakamura and his crew. James meets them in a tight corridor and dismantles them in minutes, finishing one fleeing thug with a hammer until Johnny calms him down. They free Layla and Hanoni. Johnny turns back for Marcus. Layla urges James to stay. In the basement, James faces Nakamura again. A gunfight turns into a sword duel. Nakamura pops happy powder between swings. James grabs a mace, grates it across Nakamura's face, breaks his arm, and finishes him with a sword. Johnny catches Marcus trying to escape by boat. They trade blows, throwing everything at hand. Marcus hooks Johnny's shoulder and drags him, monologuing. Johnny pumps the grenade he swiped earlier. Marcus shoots him, Johnny falls into the water just as the grenade blows. James dives in, hauls Johnny out, and they watch Marcus's boat burn. In the morning, Renard publicly arrests Peter. The family later gathers on the beach, honoring photos of lost loved ones. Johnny apologizes to his mother's spirit and promises to be better for Valentina. Mr. K appears. He reveals his exile threat was a ruse to weaponize Johnny against the Yakuza. His gang now rules the island unchallenged. As thanks, he hands Johnny a paper bearing the name of his mother's killer. Johnny shows James. James offers support, but notes Walter sent the package to bring Johnny home. Johnny burns the paper, choosing to leave the anger behind. He joins his family to start fresh. Make sure to subscribe and hit the bell for more videos like this. Thanks for watching.